Shooting victim Kaia was arrested after landing at the Piarco International Airport earlier today. She had just returned home from U.S. medical treatment. Sealy faces charges linked to the police-involved death of her boyfriend, Joshua Samaru.
Let the process run its course. You know, there's a process, and this is part of the process. Obviously, the TTPS are privy to information that we do not have. I've said that before. So let the judicial process take its course.
Here is a quick news update for TNT. Kaia is back in Trinidad and Tobago and was taken into police custody shortly after arriving at the Piarco International Airport in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Her attorney, Fiola Sandy, said she went to the airport expecting to meet her client, but later learned Sealy had already been escorted away by police through a restricted exit. According to information relayed by Sealy's mother, the encounter with officers was calm and professional. Sealy was later taken to the Aruca police station, where authorities reportedly made arrangements to accommodate her medical needs.
After being arrested this morning, Kaia has been granted bail in the sum of $700,000. And we also now know what she's being charged with. She's being charged for the unlawful killing of her partner, Joshua Samaru, which is manslaughter, shooting at 3 police officers with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm, possession of a Glock pistol and 2 rounds of ammunition, possession of a firearm with the intent to endanger life, and discharging a firearm within 40 meters of a public road. At this point, the only thing they didn't charge her with was driving dangerously from the passenger seat, because what? Also, we must not forget the fact that they said that she was hiding a Glock in her bosom. Okay, maybe that's what we're going with, but I'm telling you all, this is not the only time something like this has happened in our history. This is just the most recent, well-documented one because it was caught on camera. But this is not the only time, and unfortunately, it may not be the last time either.
Caribbean cousin, one of the victims which was involved in the police shootout during which her boyfriend was killed by police. Then, after several months of investigation, the police have now charged her with the crime. Kaia was arrested upon her arrival early in the morning at Piarco International Airport, even though she was given reassurance by the investigator. But the question is Kaia safe in Trinidad and Tobago? Caribbean cousin, Kaia presented herself in court, and the state is going to rely upon 30 witnesses and 42 statements. I just want to know, how much of those 30 witnesses and 42 statements are only actually police officers? The charges range from unlawfully killing her partner, Joshua Samaru, shooting at police officers with intent to cause bodily harm, possession of a Glock pistol and 2 rounds of ammunition, possession of a firearm with intent to cause harm to life, and discharging of that firearm within 40 meters of public place. Still asking, how much of those 30 witnesses and 42 statements are only actually police officers? Kaia is now released on a $700,000 bail. Again, how much of those witnesses and statements are only actually police officers? And do you think Kaia will actually get a fair trial in Trinidad and Tobago? Let me know in the comment.
So by now, everybody know that Kaia come back and she was arrested at the airport. And I suppose most people are asking why she came back. Because I know if it was me, I wasn't coming back. I was not coming back. So for that, I believe that she is probably the most bravest person in the whole of Trinidad and Tobago right now. But beyond that, I personally believe that she is quite possibly the most misguided. Because I suspect that in her mind she's innocent and that justice would prevail. She is risking her life on the justice system in Trinidad and Tobago, declaring her name. And it reminds me of when I was a teenager and I heard a guy who's deceased now. He said, Brando, the hardest case to win is a frame case. And I will never forget that. The hardest case to win is a frame case. Good luck, Kaia. Good luck.
Police arrest Kaia Sealy on arrival from Panama. Talk about snackly blog a bit. I find that this was very distasteful. I find that we getting more and more distasteful as the day go by with no accountability and no pullback and no change in behavior and no empathy. So Kaia Sealy's lawyer would have been in contact after her arrest warrant. She wasn't in the country, so they have been in contact. The lawyer asked for time. I don't know who was following or who not following. The time, I guess, was awarded. She continued her medical treatment. Then she went to Panama to get some additional medical treatment, and then she was supposed to come this morning to come in to the country to go to a 6 o'clock appointment to get whatever medical treatment before she was arrested. All these arrangements were made with the relevant authorities. So she was supposed to land. Her flight number when she was coming in, when it was due to land, was given to the authorities, and they said that she was going to land and then go to the appointment for 6 o'clock, and then the police will arrest her. Actually, she was supposed to surrender for 9 a.m. That didn't happen. They ambushed, and I'm using the word ambush, her without prior knowledge, like if she's an escapee. Or they didn't deport this girl, you know. Or they didn't send to the United States a deport order, and she then was deported to Trinidad like if she's a runaway, you know. She willfully got on a plane, communicated this information through her lawyers, what flight she was going to be on, when she was going to arrive, her itinerary, and her intention to surrender to the police at 9 a.m. at the police station. Why would you deprive her of medical treatment and deprive her at 6 o'clock, as was her appointment, 7, 8, 9, 3 hours, or they can wait 3 hours? She's so much of a hardened criminal that she's so bad that she do so much, or they disgraceful now, or they're just getting more and more disgraceful. And I just hope that this young lady live, because all I see in this is a trap to assassinate this girl, and I'm saying it with my whole chest. I just see in this as a trap to assassinate this girl, because ain't no way 1 and 1 not making 2, 2 and 2 not making 4, 3 and 3 not making 6, and when things not adding up, something in the mortar beside the pestle. Let's watch and see how it goes, but my spidey sense tingling. So I'm trying to keep you all updated on this Kaia Sealy situation as much as possible, as fast as possible. Grab a snack, lay back a bit. So she appeared before a magistrate this morning, not even in person, virtually. So she did virtual court. I don't know if she did it from in the jail, but she did virtual court. To me, the whole arrest was overkill, because she could have done virtual court from anywhere and gotten the bail from anywhere. But anyway, procedure is procedure. So they are saying they have 30 witnesses against Kaia. 30 witnesses. Where these witnesses come from, boy? So it is manufactured witness. Listen, this is just getting more and more. You know what I want to demand? I want to demand that this court case be recorded, and you know how in the States that there's live stream court cases, like how Cardi B case was live streamed? Yeah, we the public need to see every minute of this case, every single time when it is called. We need to see it, because at this point it's just unbelievable. It's just like getting worse and worse and worse, and we just feeling like if somebody playing with we intelligence, boy. Yeah, so I really feel like if this case should start the precedent of streaming cases. Yeah, so the public could see play by play. The media have rights and the videotape and let me go from there because I need to see who is these 30 witnesses and what they have to say and what is the witness to. What these 30 witnesses are witnesses to. What they see, what they hear, what they know, what they do. And all of this, I'm not saying that Kaia is innocent of any crime that they may pull against her, but I need more. I need more. I need to know and I need to see it play by play because I will just anything other than that I will just feel only playing in my face. And she got $700,000 in bail. Yeah? So she was granted bail of $700,000. I guess the family probably would have had that money already. So I'm guessing that she's out. $700,000 in bail. Just keeping you informed. This is where we at. I don't know if they set the first date of court when they're due to go to court with all this evidence they have and all this time they had to gather that evidence. They should be ready to go to court immediately. Yeah, I just saying.
Was very disheartening. I wonder if all the people who were laughing a few weeks ago, the individuals who I respected and have no respect for anymore, I wonder if this is funny to them right now. I wonder if oppression, suppression, and communism is funny to them right now. I wonder if you're feeling happy about the things that are transpiring in Trinidad and Tobago right now. All of you all. The reason I'm saying that, because definitely people happy that people stealing cash, oppressing certain ethnicities, and then saying to wait, hold on, things are going to change. It's 14 months later. Children are home from school because of things going on. Countless extrajudicial killings. Furthermore, blatant racism in parliament and homosexuality and laughing at people's religion. This is the type of shit all you find funny? Not a problem. Carry on. Let me retract to the shadows and definitely notice what hypocrisy really means. Remember, a certain homosexual who went in England was lying to the general public saying that he have a fat white girl that loves him immensely. No, that never happened. Mr. Grimes works at WASA and he was turned back when he went to Heathrow. Let it be known. So the interesting things, let's continue laughing and using divide and conquer. I have to say conga, because trust me, when people were dancing the conga line, it was the most disgusting statements made from some of the people in here. I'm eager to call his name, but this morning he's dreadfully quiet. But he's very touchy anytime they speak about Miss Kamala Persad-Bissessar. So look what the UNCPS is doing, and tell me if that's not their personal police station. You guys do enjoy your day now. And remember, sock bottoms come in every ethnicity. It's just when you're a paid house one, it feels different.
She appeared before Master Nazira Ali at the Tunapuna High Court, where she was granted bail in the sum of $700,000 to cover all 9 charges. The matter was adjourned to the 8th of October 2026 for a status hearing. The 9 charges are as follows: manslaughter, 3 counts of shooting with intent, possession of firearm, possession of ammunition, possession of firearm within 40 meters of a street, possession of firearm to endanger life, and possession of ammunition to endanger life.
Sealy was granted bail in the sum of $700,000 when she appeared before Master Nazira Ali at the Tunapuna High Court on Wednesday to face 9 charges. The 24-year-old went to the United States to seek medical attention and was arrested upon arrival at the Piarco International Airport around 1 a.m. on Wednesday. According to TTPS Public Information Officer, Acting ASP Owi Russell, her arrest was in accordance with the TTPS standard procedure. The matter was adjourned to October 8, 2026 for a status hearing.
And some breaking news, Kaia arrested at airport after returning to TNT. Fiola Sandy speaks to reporters after her client Kaia Sealy was arrested upon arriving at the Piarco International Airport early on Wednesday.
Piarco International Airport is just off the square.
Yeah.
And take the flight this morning.
Well, she did. She arrived, and although we were given assurances by the prosecution that she would be able to go and get medical treatment and then proceed to the police station, she has in fact been arrested.
And this time, do you know where she is?
But I've been told they're taking her to Aruca because that is apparently where the best facilities are for her right now.
That Kaia was in a position. Do you know what Kaia was in?
I have no information about that, that she would have been detained in the back of the airport, yeah. But her mother said that the police were very amicable. It wasn't an aggravated situation, right? So, yeah. Oh.
And she got what was next?
Well, the next move is for her to appear before court. Yeah. Yeah. Are you?
So wait. Make it make sense. Trinidad and Tobago, what really going on? Only really look up a cripple boy. Only this woman paralyzed. She can't run. She can't go no way. What only went for the girl by the airport for and lock she up? Well, look at that, just like she settled in and, go by she and, you dig? What kind of mad thing is that? Somebody who can't run from only went and lock up, detain. The pushy way, boy. She done going through it already. She ain't gonna go no way. So they tell me, look at her, let she go home, boy. And enjoy she little home time, boy. Nah, boy.
Kaia Sealy was granted $700,000 in bail today as she made her first court appearance. Let's have a look at the details as reported. So this is what is reported by the Express newspaper, and it says that the state intends to rely on 30 witnesses, 42 witness statements and a series of forensic reports in its prosecution of Kaia Sealy, who appeared virtually before Master Nazira Ali in the Tunapuna police station on Wednesday. Sealy, 25, is charged with the manslaughter of Joshua Samaru and a series of firearm-related offences arising out of the fatal police shooting, which took place on January 20th. So, in addition to being accused of unlawfully killing Samaru and shooting at 3 police officers, she also faces charges of possessing a Glock pistol, possessing 2 rounds of 9mm ammunition, possessing a firearm to endanger life, and discharging a firearm within 40 meters of a public road. As mentioned, she was granted $700,000 in bail with 1 surety. Her appearance before the court came within hours of returning to Trinidad from Panama. She was arrested upon her arrival at the Piarco International Airport and taken to the Aruca police station. So, the prosecutor would have also requested an intimate DNA sample from Sealy, but she declined to provide one on the advice of her attorneys. Jacob informed the court that the case file would now be sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions within the next 30 days for the appointment of state counsel. The prosecution was ordered to serve its witness statements by August 24th, with the defense having until September 25th to respond. A status hearing has been scheduled for October 8th, with a sufficiency hearing set for October 22nd.
24-year-old Kaia Sealy has been granted bail in the sum of $700,000. Sealy, who was arrested by police shortly after disembarking from an aircraft at Piarco International Airport upon her return to Trinidad and Tobago, appeared virtually before Master Nazir Ali at the Tunapuna police station on June 17 to answer the charges. Seeley, however, declined to provide a DNA sample. The prosecution did not object to bail. Seeley had been overseas receiving medical treatment for injuries sustained during the January 20 incident in which her boyfriend, 31-year-old Joshua Samaru, was fatally shot by police. Seeley was expected to surrender to officers at the Tunapuna police station at 9 a.m. However, Seeley was arrested and taken to the Aruca police station. Seeley is the subject of a warrant alleging manslaughter in connection with Samaru's death. She also faces 3 charges of shooting with intent to cause grievous bodily harm against police officers, along with other related offences. The decision to charge Seeley follows the advice from Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gasparud, Senior Counsel.
So we're here at the police station, where you would have now met with Kaia Seeley for her physical condition and her emotional and mental health at this time. Well, I can't really give her her mental health. You know, in relation to what is going on, she's holding up very well. You know, the circumstances are, you know, dire because she is in she has a severe medical condition, you know, but in the circumstances, she has been holding up well enough, you know. She's been here. Unfortunately, I have not been able to speak with an investigating officer because, as I've been told by the police, she's just being housed here, so they don't have any further information. So they weren't able to give me any information, or nor was I able to see a warrant in the matter. Well, she'll be housed here until the matter proceeds to court. At least that was the assurance given to me, although assurances have previously been given to me that, you know, have not panned out in that way. But the assurances given to me so far is that she would in fact be here and she would attend virtually from the Aruca police station.
So that's court later this morning.
Yeah.
I know that you've spoken to her based and how is she going to be looked after here for the duration of a couple of hours?
Well, the police officers seem to be very amicable. The police officers who are cooperative, who are actually stationed here, you know, they gave me as much information as they could have, and they are attending to her needs as well as they can. The situation, like accommodating her medication and so on, you know. They indicated this was one of the better police stations, and that's why they brought her here. So, I mean, I can say only from what they have disclosed, but so far they seem to be cooperating with her and her care. Yeah.
In terms of her care as well, her care, what is the next step? Because if Kaia is granted bail, when she appears in court, what is next?
Well, I can't say that for now. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but she has a planned medical trajectory with medical professionals. So none of that, of course, is in Trinidad. So, you know, but we don't want to say anything because we have, you know, I don't want to comment on that because of the ongoing court matter, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Bye.
This is 28-year-old Kaia Seeley and her partner Joshua Samaru. On January 20th of this year, they were both shot multiple times in an incident involving Trinidad and Tobago police. Joshua's life was taken. Kaia was left partially paralyzed. Their child's empty car seat was left riddled with bullet holes. The whole country saw video footage of the shooting and called for the police involved to face consequences. But now, seemingly inexplicably, the police have announced that Kaia, who is still undergoing treatment for her injuries, will face criminal charges in Joshua's death. Not the police, Kaia. Now, this is all horrifying, but it feels very familiar to me. First, there's that feeling that many of us have felt over and over again in our lifetimes as Trinidad and Tobago citizens. That big, crushing weight of power doing what it wants with no regard for our lives. That feeling that injustice can't done. But second, does it feel like we are being experimented on? I thought immediately of the US shooting of Renee Good, which happened just 2 weeks before Kaia and Joshua were shot. That shooting was also captured on camera. People saw it and were angry and protested, but ultimately, the authorities defended what had happened, and people were basically told not to believe their lying eyes. This is what happens under fascism. George Orwell warned us in 1984. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. And I say experimented because it feels like they are pushing us to see just how much we will accept, just how much their social media manipulation will use our existing divides around things like race and gender to make us say, well, he or she deserved to die. And this is not conspiracy theory. We know for a fact that this happens. We know, for example, that Cambridge Analytica interfered in Trinidad and Tobago elections in 2010 and used race baiting as a tool for voter suppression. We also know that our current government is a great admirer of the US government, which uses these tactics. In the coming days and weeks, keep a watchful eye out for those who will tell you to be calm and logical and try to stamp out the fire of your outrage. Because this is a long-used tool to keep the masses in line. And conveniently, this logic continues time and again, not to serve the interests of the people, but rather the interests of those with power.
Wagwan. I hope you are all doing great, my good people. So guys, in today's video, I want us to talk about Kaia Sili. We have done several stories of Kaia Sili and Joshua Samaru, the protests in Trinidad and Tobago, how the leaders came out to respond, what they have done, the rules that they have actually bestowed on those that want to go to the streets and protest against, unlawful arrest. So yesterday, that was on a Wednesday, Kaia came back home, and according to how they have planned with the lawyer is that she's going to come back, and then later on during the day she goes to the police to report, and because she has to answer these particular charges that we're going to talk about sometime later in our video. So that is something that really happened in Trinidad and Tobago. And now everybody is talking, of course. Kaia Sili came back home after being away, of course. She was receiving medical in United States of America. We all know the incident, so I don't really have to repeat. There were so many questions that the people really wanted to know. There were so many processes that people expected to see. But what happened is that people were really shocked about the entire situation, because the moment Kaia Sili stepped back on the soils of Trinidad and Tobago, she was arrested immediately. And I can tell you, this news, it spread very fast across Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, Trinidadians are speaking about this issue, because I remember, this story, it can also happen to you. So that's why I think the conversation is into everyone's mind, or everybody's just trying to say something, right? So Trinidadians are asking so many questions about fairness, about trust, because you see this story of Kaia Sili and Joshua Samaru, it is not just about them. It has become a national conversation, because today it's Kaia Sili, tomorrow it can be you, and that's how Trinidadians feel like they really need to protect themselves. So according to the reports that we have, Kaia Sili arrived back in Trinidad and Tobago. She had been away abroad receiving treatment or medical care, and of course our return was already highly anticipated. People across the entire twin island of Trinidad and Tobago were waiting, they were watching. But if there is something that nobody expected, was the situation that unfolded. And seeing reports online that she had been detained shortly after landing. So her legal team said that, they believe that, according to them, they believed that Kaia Sili would have been able to, okay, not believing, they're saying that, you see, Kaia Sealy was to attend the police issues or matters later on, but it was unfair that the arrest happened immediately and also at the airport. And of course, that is where everything changed because, yeah, nobody expected. And it was really shocking anyway. So Trinidadians are reacting outrageously. They are reacting furiously. And it's, of course, whenever we have a topic that we talk about, we expect there are those that are going to support it. There are those that will be neutral. There are those that will be very angry. So, of course, not everybody will agree. We always agree to disagree. And nobody sees the story the same way. That's what I really mean. But again, you'll find that many people are asking, like, was this really the right way? Was this really the right moment? And could this have been handled differently? You know, those questions, they are questions that Trinidadians really need to know. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it could be one of them. So those are the questions that are spreading everywhere across Trinidad and Tobago because you see, it's really unfair to be arrested at the airport. You know, the airport in most cases it's a symbol, and in the first place, you see many people they see these particular airports is a symbol of, returning back home. And for many people, this image of someone landing and immediately being taken into custody, it makes people feel really, really bad about it. And of course, it's not something that you can be proud of. So the bigger issue that we really need to talk about in this particular case is that, you see, it actually affects public confidence because as much as people may say that they do want answers, they also want transparency. They also want to know the full story. They don't want emotions, rumors, social media battles. The truth is something that everybody wants. So, and at this moment, trust has already been damaged, and whatever is happening, the people will always become suspicious, and they'll start questioning everything: institutions, people, leaders, and thereafter the demand for accountability. So if you look at social media platforms, it's where people are debating, arguing, sharing opinions, defending Kaia. And even, we have those that are saying that let the legal process be followed. After all, we have a legal institution in our country, the judiciary. We need to follow that process. And we had also one of the governor saying that. So, of course, we have the people that are saying the public deserves more information. The public deserves the truth. And of course, it's a national discussion at this point. Every update creates another wave, just like how the story began. The story began, the news went round. Later on, the CCTV footage of how Joshua Samaru and Kaia Sealy got affected by the shootout came out. I mean, that's how the story has been unfolded. So every statement will create another reaction, of course. Just anything. So behind every headline that we see in these platforms, remember that it's real people that are being involved, real families, real emotions. And of course, there is pain. There are unanswered questions because at the end of the day, a country must remember something very important, that justice is not only about punishment. Justice is also about finding out the truth. Justice is also about, being fair, being accountable, and the truth must always stand above the anger, above the politics, and above public pressure. So one of the biggest issue now that is facing the land of Trinidad and Tobago is trust issues. You see many people in Trinidad and Tobago, they used to believe in the system. they need to believe that the system really works, and there should also be the trust and the confidence between the police and the people need to be there. People, I mean, in terms of judicial systems, yeah, people need to believe that. And of course, government institutions, they also need public confidence. So at this point, you see, that all has been lost. The people have lost faith in all of that. So you see that whenever anything happens, it's being questioned. Whenever any decision is made, it becomes a debate, and that is why this case of Kaia Sili has also created so much emotions among the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So I know some people are saying that the law must take its course, and of course that's a very, very serious point to talk about. At the end of the day, no society can function without law, right? And of course, we have those that are like, people must also ask questions. And that's also important. I do agree. Because at the end of the day, a healthy democracy allows questions, allows discussions, and allows the good citizens of their land to demand for clarity. So this story in some way connects with many, many ordinary people, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but also across the world. You know, many people, when it comes to this case, they feel like this story represents something bigger. And that feeling that the normal citizens, the ordinary people, need their voices heard as soon as possible. And the feeling that fairness really, really matters. The feeling that every person deserves due process. So due to that all, you know, there are so many, the emotions are so high currently, because you see people in Trinidad and Tobago are not only discussing that particular story, they're also discussing their relationship with the system. Now, by that I mean the government and the bodies and the institutions that run Trinidad and Tobago. So the case, of course, is going to continue, because most court processes take so much time, and more information will come out by every time. Whenever there is a court session, more questions, of course, will be answered. And the most important thing now is that, you know, facts are going to be put on the table, not rumors, not anger, not online pressure, but facts, which is good about the case. And at the end, people will know the truth. The story of Kaia Sili has really touched a nerve in Trinidad and Tobago, and it has opened conversations about justice. It has opened conversation about trust, accountability, fairness. I know people may disagree on this, but one thing is clear. Trinis are watching. They want answers and they want the truth. And they also want the justice system that they can believe in. And honestly, this is not just a story. This is a moment, and I can tell you it's a moment that has started a national conversation. Kindly let me know what you do think about this particular story of Kaia Sili. I don't know, guys. I know we are all different. I shared the clips of Trinidadians commenting about the story, and I know you've listened to them. You've listened to my commentary. What I think or what's my take on the story, kindly comment down below. Let me know what is your take also. Let's keep the conversation going, because each and every time we keep learning by talking about these things. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your love and support. I appreciate from the bottom of my heart. Bye-bye.